What's up, Loveland High? I'm your anchor, Bobby Kelly. Welcome to KLHS. Let's head into our daily tradition of the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At the 2014 Colorado State DECA Conference, 5 Loveland High students qualified for the International DECA Conference, May 3rd through the 6th in Atlanta, Georgia. The 5 students were Jonathan Frysmuth and Colby Bundy in Sports and Entertainment Marketing Team Decisions Making, Dylan McNally and Ben Newton in Marketing Communications Team Decision Marketing, and Orion Glower in Principles of Business and Management. In addition, junior Matthew Hazen was selected as the Colorado DECA District 7 State Officer Candidate. Hazen was one of nearly 40 students eligible for this honor. Lastly, 6 students were finalists in their respective events, finishing the top 5%. Morgan Gibbs, Cole Martin and Riley Rosenberger, Dylan McNally, Hunter Splash Wiley, and Matt Hazen. Great job at State DECA. On our last episode, we asked the question, how different is it to be a teen in 2014? On this episode, we're going to continue asking this question and find out more about our teachers' lives when they were in high school.
Last week, we gave you a taste of what high school was like for your teachers. Today, we are going to take a look at what pressures they faced then and what we face now, as we reach the conclusion of how different it is to be a teen in 2014. Do you believe that there are more pressures now than back then?
I don't know if I'd go so far as to say that teenagers today have more pressure on them. I think the difference is the pressures are different.
Pressures that we have today that I don't think my parents had is the idea of being a completely well-rounded student and just managing every single thing perfectly with your school, your grades, your extracurriculars, your volunteer work, getting enough sleep, hanging out with friends. It's so much pressure for a student in this generation that we're supposed to have this perfect idea of like the cookie cutter student, and I don't think it was as much back then.
Well, I think the primary difference is that I don't have the luxury of my parents that my parents have of being able to escape it. I mean, I have my phone. I have my phone to pull up my email, to pull up my even my workload on Google Docs or something. I have no excuse to say, oh, sorry, I was gone. I have a separate home life from my school/work life. They had that separation, and I don't.
A lot of times my students ask me if I had a bunch of homework when I was in high school. I had a ton of homework when I was in high school, and I feel like I give less homework today than other students. And I use homework just because I think of that as one of my main stresses in life when I was a teenager, was the homework that I had.
The demands of high school for me did not seem as highly demanding as it seems for you guys now. 20 years ago, options seemed a little more clear-cut. Now things seem to be rapidly changing as far as job markets, the traditional education and jobs that you could get out of college and walk right into.
I worried about a lot of the things I think teenagers today worry about. Getting into college, I worked very hard playing basketball, and I wanted that to pay off for me, and you had your typical pressures. But I think the thing that changes is as you get older, sometimes you forget about what those pressures were, and you just remember, all the great things about your teenage years.
Even though they didn't have the same distractions as we have now, they did experience the same type of life challenges that we face every day. I guess we just have to remind ourselves sometimes that they were once teenagers too.
I think Reed is right. We are constantly connected during this day and age. One thing I think we all wish is that we could get away once in a while. Last month, members of the Students in Government Club went to the state capitol through the Colorado Close-Up program. One reporter went out to find out what exactly they did.
Colorado Close-Up is an organization whose goal is to engage youth in civics, especially at the state level.
We went to Denver for the Colorado Close-Up program to get a better understanding of how our government works.
When we were there, we went to the state capitol. We got to meet some of our Loveland legislation and our county legislation.
Every day was a little bit different, but primarily we went and hung out at the state capitol. We went and saw our representative Del Grosso. We met the Speaker of the House. We went to the Supreme Court, state Supreme Court building, and we actually went to the county jail. We went to the county courts, saw a trial there. So every day was a little bit different.
It was a really good experience, and you don't have to be into government and like politics just to like have fun and like learn a lot from there. They go over all the different branches and stuff, and you basically get a look inside of like every little aspect of it. So I don't know, it's just like a really good experience.
Kids did get stuck in the elevator for about 30 minutes one time, so maybe that was it. But also, yeah, I led a group of students. We were on the 5th floor of a building into a stairwell that we couldn't get out of, so we had to walk all the way down to the basement to get out of the stairwell. All the doors were locked. That was my bad.
I'm hoping to go into politics someday. I don't know.
I am going to Front Range for the criminal justice program, and for the Colorado Close-Up, we looked at like the judicial branch, and so we got to look at like the court systems and that kind of stuff, and that's the stuff that I'm interested in. So I'll definitely be pursuing that down the line.
I would recommend it to anyone.
It's a great opportunity for kids to hang out for a few days in Denver, meet some of their elected officials, and have a good time.
They plan on taking another group in February, so if you were interested, please talk to Mr. Bain or Mr. Cooley. Rosie the Riveter Club Girls. Sign up in the cottage for the Bill Day, Saturday, March 15th. T-shirts are available to tie-dye today, Wednesday, at 1, or tomorrow, Thursday the 6th. Sign up in the cottage for a tie and t-shirt size. See Larson or Silva for questions. The care closet has changed a lot since we last checked it out. Let's see the new additions and how you can help out.
In 2012, there were 655 homeless people here in Loveland, Colorado.
In January 2013, there were 11,167 homeless people just in Denver, Colorado.
And in the United States, there are 3.5 million people that are homeless.
When driving around in weather like this, students don't realize they may be sitting next to someone less fortunate.
And that's why we have an organization here called the Care Closet to help those in need of clothing. But not everybody knows what's inside. Let's check it out.
The Care Closet not only provides basic clothing needs to students here at LHS, but also formal wear and other necessities that can be used every day. Every Tuesday night, the House of Neighborly Service helps those in need, and we can do the same thing here. Please bring all clothing items or shoewear that you don't use to room 142, and don't be afraid to stop by and pick up items as well.
Let's make sure to be aware of people around us and be aware of what we can do to help out. LHS has a busy week next week. Freshmen and sophomores, you have TCAP testing Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, March 13th through the 15th. Please bring a calculator on Wednesday the 12th. Testing will start at 7:35, so please be on time. Juniors, we will be having our first LHS ACT Academy Thursday, March 13th and Friday, March 14th. There's no sign up needed. It will be a regular day of school and attendance will be taken, so please show up. We will meet in the auditorium at 9:20 a.m. on Thursday the 13th to start the academy. Seniors, there will be a graduation meeting in the auditorium Thursday, March 13th at 11:30 a.m. A lot of information will be given and many things will be decided upon. LHS Student Council elections are coming up later this month. KLHS went to find out what the Student Council is and why it's important to vote in the upcoming elections.
There are many misconceptions about what the Student Council is, who they are, and what they do.
The Student Council is the Loveland High School's representative form of government for the student body.
We put on events such as Homecoming, Music Fest, canned food drive in the fall.
Student Council's goal is to get the school together.
We do Wednesday Night Live and Peach Fuzz, and we do other community services like our Make-A-Wish Week.
There are so many different kinds of groups in the Student Council. We have people from every different aspect of the school.
Our job again is to help support all of the Loveland High School community. That means students here at Loveland High as well as the community of Loveland. We do other little things too, like all the L's you see when you first show up the first day of school. That's all done by Student Council. The Hearts at Valentine's Week.
Stuco elections are Thursday, March 20th. Students get in by a combined score from a written essay, teacher recommendation, a sit-down interview, as well as peer votes. Only 50% of the total score is dictated by votes.
We want people to vote so that they can have their voice heard, so we can do what they think would make the school a better place.
I think that voting in a high school election like Student Council is great practice for you to do your civic duty when you become an adult.
In the end, you vote to give your voice in democracy. If you don't vote, then you can't complain about how things are run. You have to be the change that you want to see in your community.
Knowing good traits to look for in a potential Stuco representative is key when voting later this month.
To be a Student Council representative, you need to be someone who people look up to, someone that is respected.
I would look for somebody who is a good leader, not only in the classroom, but in their personal life as well. Somebody who represents characteristics such as integrity, honesty, that is a role model, that upholds traditions.
In general, it's a good idea for them to be dedicated. It's a good idea for them to be a good listener. It's the people that you put in there with your votes.
KLHS consulted voting expert and civics teacher Mike Felton on why it's important to participate in the voting.
Hey, Loveland High Student Council elections are coming up in a couple of weeks. And I think if you have any sense of political efficacy that your vote matters, that you need to participate in this election if you want us to have a strong democratic republic. If you don't think your vote matters, then I still think you should feel that it is your civic duty as a Loveland High student to participate in this election. If you don't vote for Student Council and you don't like the decisions they make, then you have no right to complain. Remember, the people that are elected, they're the ones that make all the policies. They're the ones that decide what you get. Pretty much politics come down to who gets what, when, and how. And you want to have a say in those people making those decisions.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light?
Elections will be second period March 20th. They will be run like an actual election, so students will have to sign in and cast their ballot into the voting box provided in each classroom. Well, that's all I have for you today, Loveland. Make sure to have a safe and a happy hump day. Let's toss it over to Madeline with sports.
Thanks, Bobby. Good morning, everyone. I'm Madeline McGuffey, here to give you an update on sports. The girls' basketball team lost their last game to Grandview last week, losing 38-73. It was a great season for the girls this year. We are really going to miss Brady Bakovich, Annika Anderson, Hannah Payton, and Katie East, our seniors, next year. Track and field has a scrimmage today and a meet this Saturday in Greeley. Go cheer on your track team. Your girls' tennis takes on Fossil Ridge tomorrow at Fossil. Go support your awesome girls tennis players. Boys swimming and diving started last week, and it looks like it'll be a great season. If you haven't gotten your clearance card yet for a spring sport, make sure you talk to Jackie Anderson in the administration office today. That's going to wrap it up for sports. I'm Madeline McGuffey. Have a wonderful long weekend, Loveland.